What is up, YouTube? It is Sunday and I am back. It's been like a hot minute since I live streamed. Well, I did at the rally, at the Trump rally, but that was only for like a couple minutes. But I mean, like a real live stream. I think it's been like a week or so. Uh, I didn't check before I came on, but about there. So it's time that I came on and gave you guys some updates on not just the border or not just a specific subject, but a lot of topics that are happening right now that at least I think are important. Hey, Dorinda, how's it going? So welcome everybody. This is Atomic News. If you are new here, make sure you are subscribed because as 2020 gets closer, you're going to want to be in the know as far as the news. So, hey Margot, how's it going? Make sure you are subscribed, hit that bell icon so you can hopefully, if YouTube feels like working, be notified when I'm live or post a new video. And after this video uploads, make sure you share and pass it along to everybody you know. You guys, a lot of news. So before I get into it, if in the chat room you want my attention because I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, you guys know that it's hard for me to live stream and always pay attention to what is going on in the chat room. If you need to get my attention, there are two ways to do it. You can do the @Atomic News, okay, the @ symbol, Atomic News, and then type whatever you want, and then it'll pop up nice and bright to me. Or you can hit that dollar symbol and super chat and make a small donation to my channel. You are not required to in order to be here. If you can't, that's fine. But if you're feeling frisky, great, go for it. You are always welcome here regardless, though. So make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't hit the like button already, there are 26 people in here, and so far I can see 7 likes. So there are a few of you that are creeping. That's okay if you're a creeper. I'm pretty sure I've been a creeper a few times in my life. But a couple little tidbits before I get into some important articles. It's my birthday on Friday. That's right. I'm going to be 45 this coming Friday the 28th. So Jim says Atomic is in the house. So you guys, in the description box below is my P.O. box. And I usually only check my P.O. box like once a month, okay? But it would be really cool if I could get like a birthday card from some of my subscribers. Like, I think that would be cool just to see where they come from, what states, who's out there, et cetera, et cetera. That'd be cool. So in the description box below, if you feel like doing it, that'd be cool. I did just go to my P.O. box, and I don't think TKO is in the house yet. So if TKO pops up, you guys need to tell me. Someone like yell at me in the chat room, or Mr. Atomic will yell at me. But TKO, one of my moderators, actually sent me something for the new year. And I didn't know that because I haven't been to my P.O. box in a couple weeks. But she sent me a Happy New Year's note and sent me the Trump dollars. Isn't that great? Trump 2020 dollar. Okay. And then the gold version too. Like, how bitchin' is that? That is awesome. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. That was pretty cool. So I should have made that my thumbnail right there, just across my face. Hey, so TKO, when you get in the house, thank you so much for that. That was really, really cool. So let me make sure I get this back in the plastic. As far as Anthony, I know you guys were kind of waiting to see if I was going to do a live stream with Anthony. Anthony is really busy right now because of the election. He's running for Congress. But I did just talk to Jim Benby today earlier via Messenger on Facebook, and he is going to connect with Anthony and try and nail down that date, hopefully this Thursday, to do that interview with Anthony, me, Jim Benby, and then hopefully we can pull Jen from AZ Patriots and kind of just discuss, that article that came out that everybody was kind of rip-roaring about a week or two ago, as well as other things going on in the border. So it is still a possibility, and as soon as I have that information, as usual, I will post it in the community section. For those of you that missed it, I did get hired as an election judge here in Maricopa County in Arizona. So I will be an election judge for the upcoming election, which is really cool. So I'm going to go to training and learn how to do that kind of a thing. You know, that's one of those things in life that you can say, you know, yeah, I did that. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, Terry says, you are young looking for almost 45 years young. You want to know my secret? It's the fat. I'm not a thin girl, okay? I'm a plus size girl. And I always tell everybody, if I lost weight, I'd look a hell of a lot older because there wouldn't be as much fat to fill in the wrinkles, you know, just keeping it real. This is my channel. That's what I do. I tell you guys the way it is. I don't sugarcoat things. So why am I going to sugarcoat things about me? Manny, I just said that. So when are you going to talk about Anthony? I just said that. You may have just come into the room, but we're working on Thursday. I'm working with Jim Benby to try and nail down that date because Anthony is so busy. But it's still going to happen, so don't worry. One thing I wanted to show you guys today, something that I got in the mail, okay? This is from officially the Republican National Committee, okay? And you have probably seen some of the Democrats, especially the squad, talk about these coming out in the mail saying the Republicans are putting out fake censuses, trying to trick people into answering questions, blah, 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 all in this whole big uproar. And they're pissing and moaning about these things. And so when I opened it, I was like, all right, let's see what this is. And it says 2020 Congressional District Census. Okay, you can see that right there. Okay. So yeah, it kind of looks like a census. All right. But the word census, let's look at it. Okay. A census is trying to get the idea of what people think. Okay. There can be many types of censuses. So it doesn't have to, I'm trying to say that. Censuses. So there's nothing misleading about this, okay? Anybody with two brain cells to rub together can figure out that this is not the census, all right? And basically, sorry, I thought I heard somebody at the door. I was like, what now? Basically, if you read the questions, all it is Republicans asking other Republicans what they think. Okay, like the first question, they want to know, do you generally identify yourself as a conservative Republican, an independent who votes Republican, a moderate Republican, blah, 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 blah. But then they go into more detail like, do you approve or disapprove of the Democrats' agenda to raise taxes? Do you believe the national media has a strong bias against all things Donald Trump? Like, they just want a general census of how you feel, okay? It's a questionnaire. Hey, TKO, you missed it. She's in the house, okay? I let everybody know and I showed everybody what you sent me for New Year's. So thank you, honey. That was so cool. I finally went to my P.O. box. I only go like once a month. And I was like, ooh, mail. And I was really excited to open that up. So thank you. There's nothing wrong with this, okay? There is nothing wrong with this at all. Okay, and they do ask you for a donation at the end, which I don't mind donating to the Republican Party. I'm a Republican. I vote Donald Trump. All right, but all these questions are they just want an idea of how you feel and what you think is important. So probably so they can shape their platform to fit what the people want. So when the Democrats bitch about these fake censuses going around, that's all it is, okay? But yet they're leading the public to believe that the Republicans are being deceptive in sending these out and making it look like it's a legitimate census. No. Only a true dumbass would think that, all right? And if you really want to know more about what's on here, you guys can always email me. It's down below in the description box, okay? So I wanted to at least fill you guys in on that. But tonight is going to be kind of a mishmash of this, that, and the other because there's a lot going on right now. And I really couldn't pick one subject. I kind of wanted to have my cake and eat it too. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But first, I know my stats, okay, as far as my YouTube channel and who watches me and who doesn't, as far as male, female, age groups, etc., etc. Right now, it's about 50-50. Okay. In fact, I'll even pull it up for you guys so you can kind of see. So my audience, I'll show you guys right here. Male, 50.7%, female, 49.3% that watch me. Okay. I can always see this in my analytics on YouTube. Okay. And then the age group, the most watched age group that watches me is 55 to 64. Okay. Then the next biggest would be 65 and over, and then 45 to 54. So you guys can kind of see that there. But let's look at the young group. 0. Okay. No, I have 0.6% in 18 to 24. And only 7.7% in 25 to 34. Okay. That made me think of something today. We only have so much time, those of us in the older age groups, to keep control of this country. All right. Because clearly the younger generation is being groomed. Okay. I'm not saying they all are. There are definitely some smart youngsters out there. We've met them at the Trump rally. Some of them were Boy Scouts, some of them weren't. But clearly the younger generation is being groomed to believe that the Bernie Sanders thought process is the right way. The way the squad thinks is the right way. Socialism is the right way, okay? It is not. Thank God that one of my 2 children believes that. My other child is conservative, but leans Democrat. Okay. She's kind of a weird mix. But if she voted, I really think she'd vote for Bernie Sanders because I don't think she's educated enough on politics and economics and anything like that to make a better choice, let's just say. But we're at least teaching our younger daughter and letting her make her own decisions, and she's making the right decisions. But there are only so many generations that can hold this country in a conservative way, because eventually when the older people start to die off, okay, those of us that are 40 and above, okay, like 35 and above, once we all start to die off, these younger generations are going to take over this country, and they're going to turn it into the socialist disaster that Bernie Sanders is pushing. And that takes me into my first article that I want to talk to you guys about, okay? Pretty sure I have that. Hold on. Let me go down I should have brought it up right away. That probably would have been good, but we fly by the seat of our pants sometimes here. So you have a choice between Joe Biden, okay, or Bernie Sanders, or whoever else, okay? But let's just look at Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, okay? Joe Biden rules out second term if mental acuity declines. This is from Breitbart. I shit you not. Okay. So he's already thinking ahead. He's already realizing, I'm losing it up here. But if you vote for me, I want you to know that if I lose it any more than I currently am at, I won't run for a second term, because I'll be still enough there to realize that that's not a good thing. Okay, sure, I'm going to trust that. Sure. Yes, sure, Bear, I agree with that comment. In fact, let's approve that. It didn't put that comment up right away because you said the T word, dating, but that's okay. All right, so appearing Thursday evening at a CNN town hall in Las Vegas, Nevada, former Vice President Joe Biden, who is 77 years old, pledged not to run for a second White House term if his mental abilities decline. The transcript, it says a transcript is as follows: town hall questionnaire. Some express concern about the ages of you and Senator Sanders. Would you, if you are the nominee, go as far as to commit to only one term if it meant uniting our party? Joe Biden said, no, I wouldn't do that. But I'll tell you what, you're going to be able to make that judgment. And by the way, the two youngest men on the stage now are me and Buttigieg, or as I like to say, Bootygeg. That's the way it goes. You know what I mean? But look, it's totally legitimate for you all to ask about my age or anybody else's age up here and our health. That's why I give all my medical records, everything. Okay? The whole deal. So you know who I am. Anybody who starts off saying I'm only going to serve one term is already behind the eight ball, because then you're a one-term president and no one worries what the hell is going to happen after that. All the women on that stage, including the woman you're leaning toward, is over 70 years of age, and I'm in pretty good health. If anything changes in my health, making it incapable of me to fully exert all the energy and mental acuity that was needed to be done, then I'd give you my word, I would not run again. They all are ancient. And you know what? Being ancient isn't a bad thing. Donald Trump is not a spring chicken, okay? But he's not Bernie Sanders, who just had a goddamn heart attack. You guys, do the young generation that are all behind Bernie, oh, Bernie Sanders, yay! Do they even understand that the man just had a heart attack? Why would you put that in the Oval Office? So what? He could be elected and then have a heart attack and die? I really hope they're going to look at who his vice president candidate is going to be. Hillary Clinton. Do we want to get all conspiracy? Okay, what if Bernie Sanders put Hillary Clinton as his vice president? Okay, and this is just a fun what if, okay? Man has a heart attack and dies. Guess what? Who's president of the United States then? You have to think about these things when you vote somebody in. A man who's had a heart attack recently should not even be eligible to be on that debate stage or run for president. Just saying. That's my opinion. Okay? It's one thing to have high cholesterol or high blood pressure. Okay, whatever. Like half the freaking country has it. I have it, okay? But to actually have a heart attack, that should be common sense. But clearly, in this country, common sense is not common. So, I will never understand this young generation and their stupidity. Let's talk about Russian interference. Okay, Russia. Okay, Russia interfered in 2016 elections for Trump. They helped Trump win, right? Like we already proved Russiagate, that whole thing, it just didn't happen. Okay, like, okay, but the left, they still hang on to it. All right, but I hope you guys all just heard this article that came out, many articles, that Russia was going to interfere with Bernie Sanders and his election to get him to be president. That's a whole big thing. And then I put the actually put a clip last night on my channel. You guys, if you want to go back and see it, go after this live stream, go see it. A news person questioned Bernie when he was in Las Vegas, you know, about Russian interference, basically. And he says, don't you basically something to the nature of, don't you think it's funny it was the day before the Nevada elections? So like he thinks it's like a hit. But we all know Bernie has ties to Russia going way back. Where did the man honeymoon? Okay, Russia. All right. So if anybody's going to interfere with anybody's election, it'd be Bernie Sanders. They're the ones that would probably would be in bed. But let's talk about this. All right. This is an article from CNN. But you know what? I look at everything from all angles. I don't usually watch CNN, okay? But when I saw this, I was all right, let's talk about this. Let's see what CNN has to say about this. So this is an article that came out on this morning, okay? This morning, early this morning. The U.S. intelligence community's top election security official appears to have overstated the intelligence community's formal assessment of Russian interference in the 2020 election, omitting important nuance during a briefing with lawmakers earlier this month. 3 national security officials told CNN. The official, Shelby Pearson, told lawmakers on the House Intelligence Committee that Russia is interfering in the 2020 election with the goal of helping President Donald Trump get reelected. The U.S. intelligence community has assessed that Russia is interfering in the 2020 election and has separately assessed that Russia views Trump as a leader they can work with. But the U.S. does not have evidence that Russia interference this cycle is aimed at reelecting Trump, the officials said. The intelligence doesn't say that, one senior national security officer told CNN. A more reasonable interpretation of the intelligence is not that they have a preference. It's a step short of that. It's more that they understand the president is someone they can work with. He is a deal maker. That is what we voted him in to do. Tempe against police violence. Was nice to meet you the other night with Snafu Snaps. Miss Atomic News. Good to meet you too. That was good times. Even though we didn't make it into the rally, we still had good times. But what National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien is saying about Russia briefing conflicts with what lawmakers were told. Pearson's I'm fired. Pearson's characterization, really, of Russian interference led to pointed questions from lawmakers, which officials said caused Pearson to overstep and assert that Russia has a preference for Trump to be reelected. So, you know what? What do you believe at this point? Russia's helping Bernie Sanders, or Russia's going to support the reelection of Donald Trump? How is the world even going to know what is what when you listen to the mainstream media? This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So at this point, I don't give a fuck who Russia helps, okay? Because really, what can they do? Get into social media? Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about California, because you guys know, born and raised in California, lived there till I was 30. Malibu was not far from where I grew up, okay? Let's talk about California. California, as some people will say. You guys, California homeless flocking to Malibu beaches, dumping their sewage. Officials in Malibu, California are considering relocating dozens of homeless residents who are staying in RVs along Malibu's coastline. Relocating them to where? Let me guess. Arizona? The desert, the high desert? Moving them somewhere where they can probably hide them. Okay? But there is some free camping in that area. Okay, but there's not a lot of free camping in that area. So if they're homeless, how are they paying to have their RV on the beach? I don't know. Maybe this article will say. But last I was there, and still can tell by research, you got to pay to park your RV or camp on the beach. So Are they day using it and dumping that way? Like, I don't know. Are they just pulling into the parking lot for day use for the beach and then they dump it? Let's find out. Officials say more people are moving to public beaches using public parking spots, there we go, and staying for days and weeks at a time. This movement has caused many problems beyond just denying other residents beach access and parking spots. Okay, I can see how that would piss people off, especially in California, when you have all these people, homeless people, just sucking up all the free areas. Okay, there is free Zuma, and then there's then there's Malibu Beach, where you like there you can either pay or not pay. Like, there's different areas. Okay, there's Zuma Beach, free, where you have to pay, free Zuma, and then farther south comes Malibu. Okay, and there's both pay and free in Malibu. At least there was. Motorhomes have 30 to 40 to 50 gallon capacities in their septic systems. Malibu Council member Jefferson Wagner told Fox Business on Wednesday they're dumping sewage right onto the rocks or onto the beach into the public right of way. Now, I remember as a child, Malibu Beach, okay, there was the beach, okay, the water, the sand, and then behind it was what they call the arroyo, okay, this, for lack of a better term, where all the runoff drains, and then it goes down and drains somewhere else into the ocean. Okay, it's not necessarily sewage. Okay, they weren't dumping their sewage into the ocean, but people dump things down into the sewers, okay, when they're washing their cars, oil, fluids, things like that they shouldn't. Okay, it's illegal to do it, but people do it. Okay, and what goes into those sewers drains into the arroyo and goes out to sea. And there was one time where we were playing as kids in that water, okay, because it was more like a little pond versus the big ocean waves when you're younger. And someone said, no, get out of there, okay. So we did. But now they're literally dumping the sewage, okay, their shit and piss, onto the rocks and the beach areas where people go to enjoy life, where people go to vacation, where people go to hang out on a summer's day, where people go to see something beautiful. This is a Democrat-run state. This is what Democrats create. So if you believe in the Democrats, then you are supporting this. And until you wake up and realize that, it's only going to get worse, okay? They're dumping the sewage right on the rocks or onto the beach. So you could, okay, they could dump it onto the beach. It could dry over time, and then you could end up laying your blanket or your towels or whatever down on that dirty sewage sand, not knowing what was there before. And then you're breathing in those spores. Okay, that's disgusting. That's just disgusting. Wagner calls this an abuse of public lands. You think? Officials are trying to combat this with prohibiting overnight parking, changing signage to instruct people to move vehicles every couple of hours, and offering vouchers for inland housing. Vouchers for inland housing? What do? Give them a ticket that says, hey, here's a free night in the LA projects? What the hell is that? What the hell is that? And then moving your vehicle every few hours. Okay, so what they do, okay, so every 2 hours, okay, it's been 2 hours, guys, let's move the RV 2 spaces over. That doesn't solve anything. That solves nothing, but this is the mindset of the Democrats, you guys. They're stupid. Okay, anybody with, like I said, 2 brain cells to rub together would know that would not work. Plus, you're going to have to hire the manpower to police that, to patrol that. Ridiculous. Earlier in February, the Los Angeles Times editorial board stated its support for the relocation of these homeless residents, you think, calling the city's approach comprehensive and empathetic. Other safety concerns of the homeless camps include open fires for cooking and heating, which, just so you guys know, it is illegal to have a beach fire on Zuma Beach or Malibu Beach. Okay, it has been for years, I mean decades. You can only have fires on the beach farther up north. Okay, way up past Ventura County. You really maybe in some of the southern beaches, more like towards San Diego, there may be some that you could. You can't even let your dog run off leash. At least last when I was there, you can't let your dog run loose on the beach at Zuma or Malibu Beach unless something's changed. But I doubt it. Other safety concerns. Oh, there we go. The cooking and heating. And the reason they're concerned about it basically says is because of the California wildfires. Malibu, it's not that far, okay? All it takes is the embers and some sparks to flow in the wind off into Malibu, and there goes, Bette Midler's house. Oh, darn. You guys watch her on Twitter. You really should. It's entertaining. Her stupidity is entertaining. At least 81 vehicles were tallied in January's homeless count of Malibu, up from 61 in 2019. Okay, so clearly the homeless population in California is continuing to be out of control. They're doing nothing to take care of the problem. All they want to do is sweep it away and hide it somewhere else where it's not such a desired location, such as like the high desert, probably like way up in past Valencia. Okay, where it's worse than the or okay, let's say it's like Yuma, the equivalent of Yuma.
Sheep.
What?
And they do with the other sheep too.
I must have hit the play on this video. Or like, what's a real armpit? Gila Bend, Rob? Mr. Atomic? What's a real armpit of Arizona?
Yuma.
Yeah, well, we know about Yuma, but isn't there like some really nasty between here and Yuma? Isn't it Gila Bend? Gila Bend. Okay. All right. There's a delay between when I actually speak and then when he actually hears it. So, okay, Gila Bend. Okay, they're gonna want to move all these homeless camps to like the equivalent of Gila Bend, Arizona. All right. Or why don't they move them all to Slab City? You guys, have you heard of Slab City? Okay, Slab City is out by the Salton Sea, and I totally want to go there because I want to see what this Salton Sea looks like. I lived in California. I've never been there. I have no idea what it looks like. I know it smells disgusting, but it's a piece of our country, and I want to know the history, and I want to see Slab City. Okay, Slab City is the biggest homeless encampment. Like, these people basically are parked out in the desert in the middle of nowhere. I don't think they have electricity, okay, but they live. Some of them have tents, some of them have like broken down old ass trailers, and they live there. It's their community. They don't have to pay rent to anybody. There's no landlords. There's no mortgage. They just are there, and they're squatting on dead land that nobody wants. It's garbage land. It's sand, dirt, nothing. But they make it very creative and hippie-like, and there's a lot of art and whatnot, and they have a community, and okay, whatever, if that's your thing, if you want to live off the grid like that in the middle of the desert and die of heat with like no air and whatever, okay, whatever floats your boat. But it's a lot of misfits, people who don't contribute to society, don't have jobs, okay? Move all the people out there and make the homeless encampment out there in the middle of nowhere in the Salton Sea. That's what I suggest. I don't know. Okay, California, whatever. So moving on. Did you guys hear about, hold on, let me bring up the picture here. Did you guys hear about Kaitlin Bennett? You guys know who Kaitlin Bennett is? She's very far right, okay? Recently, she went to an Ohio University like event where there were a lot of liberal, entitled children, let's just say, because that's how they act. And she had planned to go to that event and open carry to basically show her support for the Second Amendment. And when she walked through the crowd, it was like walking through a crowd of protesters at a Trump rally, okay? Antifa, children, okay? Immature people who are angry children, okay, that live in mother's basement, those kind of people. And they basically assaulted her, okay? They threw things at her. Okay, some of it was simple, like water and toilet paper, whatever. Okay, but someone threw hot coffee on her. Okay, that is literally at that point an assault. Okay, she did nothing. I realize in the past she may have instigated people and questioned people and upset people, like when she was interviewing them. But in this particular moment, all she did was walk through this crowd peacefully with her, her group. All right, and people saw her, they recognized who she is, they threw things at her, they harassed her, they assaulted her. Nobody deserves to be assaulted, regardless of whether or not they put themselves in the position of being in the middle of protesters, okay? Like, let's just say a flaming liberal came into a huge crowd of Trump supporters and just walked right through. Do you think those Trump supporters would assault her? No. Or him, whoever, him, her, whatever. No, but she was. Okay, and if you're a girl in here, all right, anybody else like a makeup whore like I am, like I love my makeup? I don't know, girls, ladies out there, do you love your makeup? Do you know who James Charles is? Okay, he's a makeup artist, a makeup guru, an influencer. Okay, he's like 19, he's like under 20, okay? He's young and he's a millionaire, okay? Lives in LA now, makes a lot of money doing makeup, doing his thing. He literally said on Twitter, right there, she deserves it. So I literally unfollowed him, unsubscribed to him, and tossed his eyeshadow palette in the garbage. Hasta la vista. Nobody deserves it, okay? Regardless of what she may have done in the past, she simply was just walking through, okay? You guys may disagree with me. That's okay. But that just goes to show the mentality, the behavior of the lefts. If you reversed it, it would not have happened that way at a Trump rally. At a Second Amendment rally, okay? Let's say a flaming liberal who sat a shirt that said, "I love Bernie," okay, decided to walk through a Trump crowd. That person would not have had hot coffee thrown on them. Nope. So I want you guys to just know that I see those things and I don't condone that kind of thing. And I hope that nobody that watches my channel or supports my channel would ever assault somebody just because they have a difference of opinion. It's one thing, if you want to tell them they're stupid or whatever and be verbal and whatever, but to actually assault them like that with hot coffee, So going on, let's see. The other article I wanted to talk about, Border Patrol agent. Where did you go? Let's just talk about California still, okay? ICE ignored California state law and arrested immigrants at courthouses. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this was an article that was posted by Newsweek on 2/20. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have reportedly arrested 2 people at a Northern California courthouse, ignoring a recent, excuse me, a recently introduced state law barring immigration agents from making arrests at such facilities. So ICE is aware of this, and they basically said, we're going to do it anyway. In a statement, the agency acknowledged California's new state law, with David Jennings, ICE Field Officer Director in San Francisco, saying, "Our officers will not have their hands tied by sanctuary rules when enforcing immigration laws to remove criminal aliens from our communities." I love it. California state laws, I said, cannot overwrite federal laws. and will not govern the conduct of federal officers acting pursuant to duly enacted laws passed by Congress, and provide the authority to make administrative arrests of removable aliens inside the United States, he said. Condemning the arrest, public defender Kathleen Posey said in an interview with the press Democrat that ICE's actions would put total fear in the community. Oh, darn! Tough titties! If you're not supposed to be there, if you're a criminal and you're illegal, you know what? Sorry. You should be scared. You deserve to be scared. People aren't going to come to court. Victims will refuse to show up, Posey said. Witnesses will refuse to show up. Cases will have to get dismissed. Okay, and then we'll go in and get them. Posey had reportedly worked with Democrat California Rep. Mike Thompson's office to obtain the identities of the two people who were arrested. However, she said she was unable to make them public due to attorney-client privilege rules. In a statement to Press Democrat, Thompson said the courthouse arrests would put everyone at risk when it comes to public safety. No. The only people at risk would be the ones that aren't supposed to be there that are being arrested. If the immigrant community feels less safe and afraid, they're less willing to communicate, and witnesses are less likely to come forward, Thompson said. That puts us all at risk. No, I don't care. I have no sympathy. Does anybody in this room have sympathy? I want to know. If you have sympathy, put one in the chat room and type 1. I want to know if you have sympathy for these people who are being arrested by ICE. If you think it's the right thing to do, put 2 and type that into the chat. I want to know. ICE's disregard for California state law comes amid an apparent effort to target sanctuary cities and states that seek to prevent federal immigration agents from making arrests at places like courthouses, schools, and churches, in addition to preventing local law enforcement from working with federal agents. Recently, the agency came under fire over plans to bring agents from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency Border Patrol Tactical Unit, that's a mouthful, to help enforce immigration law in sanctuary cities across the country. Well, how about maybe you not be a sanctuary city, and then you won't have this problem. Frank, let's be frank, put 5. What does 5 mean, Frank? You smart ass. Jim Jones has no sympathy. Nora Jones says 2. Good. I didn't think you'd say anything different, Nora. So it goes on and on, but that's basically the gist of the article. And I was just like, sanctuary cities shouldn't be sanctuary cities in the first place. Illegals, people who have broken our law, criminals, people who are staying past their allowed period of time to be here should not have sanctuary. Sorry. This country may have been founded on immigration, on immigrants. Okay, our forefathers and their, everybody before us may have been immigrants, but we don't have to continue that process. And why is that hard to understand? Clearly, we've historically been able to figure out when something doesn't work or something is wrong, that it's okay to get rid of it. Like slavery. Okay, there came a time where we decided, you know what? Well, let's just say there came a time where Republicans said, you know what, this is not acceptable. We can't do this in our country. And it got voted out and outlawed, okay? It became a crime to own a slave in the United States. It's okay for things to change. It's okay for things to evolve and become something new and stronger, okay? It's okay to go in a different direction. We proved that by splitting from the Queen, all right? And creating this country. It's okay to make changes. What? I don't know why he backseat drives like that. Oh, sorry, the king, queen, whatever. You know, they call themselves, even the queens called themselves a prince, okay? Because they didn't want to be less than a man. So king, queen, whatever, same difference in my book. Bernie is still advocating for free healthcare and housing for illegals. Yes, I did put a clip of that up on my channel last night. Good point. Let's Be Frank. You guys, if you're not subscribed to Let's Be Frank, what are you waiting for? You need to go subscribe. But I did put a clip, I think last night, of Bernie saying that, this is paraphrasing it, okay? Basically saying that illegals have the same rights as Americans. No. So if an entire family of terrorists decides to come into our country illegally, do they have the same rights as you or I? Do they have the same rights to health care and housing and benefits and food stamps if they plan to blow something up? No. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in any country, okay? And if they allowed it, guess what? They now realize that was a mistake. Let's look at the European countries, okay, and all the refugees they welcomed. Okay, Sweden, Germany. You guys seen France lately and their disgusting streets? Okay, they've realized we made a mistake. Why do we have to follow in their footsteps? Why do we have to make their same mistakes? We don't. I get so sick of the stupidity of these younger generation that want to support this mindset. They're too young and dumb to know. And you know what? I'll be honest. When I was their age, I was too young and dumb to know the difference either. I didn't even vote until Bush number 2. You guys, I'm 45. I'm going to be 45 on Friday. I didn't even vote until Bush number 2. All right? Because I didn't care. Like, I didn't care about politics. I didn't care what was on the news. I didn't care what was going on in the world. Okay? I just cared about me. And that's, for the most part, most young people. They're just trying to make it in life, you know? They're too worried about their bestie friends and taking a selfie while they're, you know, at doing whatever on Friday, Saturday night, you know. They don't pay attention to the world and politics and all that. They don't even remember what they studied in their government or civics class, okay? They don't, okay? So I was guilty of that at their age. I did. Oh, you did? Mr. Atomic says he cared. Okay, so he's a rare thing. I'm not saying that there's not anybody that doesn't care in that age group, because there are, but there are a lot that don't. And they look at that free ticket, they like, oh yeah, I don't want to have to pay my student debt. Yeah, I don't want to have to pay for my health care. And they go, yeah, that's a good idea. No, dumbass, look into it further. But they're not going to until they're in their 30s or their 40s and realize, God, I was a dumbass. That's the way it works. Okay, so I have an article on Maxine Waters, okay? That's the last article that I want to go over with you guys. Maxine Waters. She's disgusting. Okay, she can't go a single day without tweeting about Trump, okay? Maxine Waters, Alyssa Milano, Bette Midler, The Squad, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, all of those people can't go a single day without tweeting about Donald Trump. He lives in their mind rent-free 24/7, and it's very amusing on Twitter to watch them. Okay, all those people. Oh my gosh, you voted for Ross Perot? You want to hear something funny? Okay, my brother goes, who's this parrot guy? I don't understand who this parrot guy is. And I remember going, Michael, it's Perot. And he's like, oh. And then I remember in a future election, everybody was like, where's Perot when we need him? Because he was going to run again and then he dropped out. And I forget which election it was, but we needed like somebody throw it off. And we're like, where's Perot when we need him? Another billionaire that wanted to run. Okay. Have you guys seen how much money Bloomberg has spent? How many millions of dollars he's spent? AKA wasted, because the man isn't going to get the he's not going to get the Democrat election. He's not. He's literally wasting his money right now. He's a POS. All right. So Maxine Waters claims the Crips and the Bloods are better people than Trump. Oh, yes. Okay, this is from trendingpolitics.com. And this was an article posted on February 22nd. Those tormented souls who are suffering from late-stage Trump derangement syndrome continue to bray their nonsense about the president as he sets his sights on re-election. One of the loudest and most toxic inhabitants of the Democratic lunatic asylum is Congresswoman Maxine Waters, a woman who hates Trump with the burning intensity of the core of 1,000 suns. And it is so true, you guys. If you watch her tweets, she loathes the man. Every time that Waters opens her mouth, something absolutely crazy flies out of it like a swarm of bats. And now that impeachment has imploded, she is babbling incoherently and waxing eloquently about criminal street gangs. Being that her district in Los Angeles, it should probably come as no surprise that she believes that hoodlums from the notorious Bloods and Crips are morally superior to the duly elected President of the United States. Waters made her audacious claim on the latest episode of Showtime's late night talk show. Is it pronounced Desus and Mero? I don't know. I don't watch that. I don't know. You guys will know what I'm talking about if you watch that. The violent members of California street gangs have more integrity than President Trump, according to Representative Maxine Waters. Are you kidding me? This is how deranged the left is. Isn't Skid Row part of her district? Thank you. Thank you, Kelly22. Waters, a California Democrat, is one of the biggest critics of Trump and has called for impeachment throughout most of his presidency. During an interview on Showtime, Waters justified her opposition to Trump by claiming that the members of the Crips and the Bloods have more integrity than the president. Okay, so people who actually murder people and sell drugs, gang members, okay, have more integrity than Trump? Really? That's your mindset? That's where you are up here? You deserve to be in one of those old school, like as in closed down, doesn't exist anymore, mental institutions, okay, where they strap you to a bed and they connect electrical things to you. That's where this woman belongs. This guy is a street player, Waters explained. I mean, he's a guy that has con folks. He has flirted with gangsters. What gangsters? Okay. I have worked in some of the toughest communities. Yes, in a Democrat state. I've worked with gangs. I've worked with Crips. I've worked with the Bloods. And there's more integrity in many of these young people in the hood than this man has. Waters said it blew her mind that Trump has stayed in office. He was impeached by the Democratic-led House late last year for Ukraine-related charges, but was acquitted by the GOP-controlled Senate. This is a flawed character, and I've never seen anything like this, Waters said. The warring LA gangs have withstood the test of time and become lionized by rap culture, despite their long history of violence and criminality, and many of them are constituents of Waters, whose district is so awful that she doesn't even choose to live in it. If they have this much character and are that great, bish, you better move on in. If they're that great, move your house next door to the Bloods and the Crips, and you let me know Who's better? When you don't feel safe and you can't sleep at night because there's shootings happening across your street every day. Revered by the resistance as anti-Maxine, Waters is more like the crazy aunt who is kept locked in the attic, but is today's Democratic Party. She is a leadership figure as one of Nancy Pelosi's committee chairs. I can't make this up, you guys. I can't make it up. I'm telling you, a mental health institution where they hook up electrodes and whatnot to her, like the old school scary ones that are like haunted now. Yeah, that's where some of these Democrats should be. The Squad, Maxine Waters, Shifty Schiff, all of them. So, Captain Vicky, if you end up watching this, I am aware I have not steamed my flag. I have not forgotten. I know I'm fired. It will happen. It will happen when life isn't so crazy. But like I said, you guys earlier in the show, working on the conservative Anthony thing still. Hopefully I will have an update for you guys soon. Please watch the community section. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't hit like yet, hit like. And then after this is done, share it, okay? Share it to Twitter, share it to Facebook, text it to somebody, share it to your brothers, uncles, monkeys, girlfriends, flee. I don't care. But there's a lot of information out there that needs to get out. And we conservatives are censored. I have been censored for the last year. Okay, my channel hasn't grown hardly anything in the last year since they shut my channel down, okay? Before they shut my channel down for that one day, dude, I was growing in leaps and bounds, and now my channel is hidden. Okay, they do this intentionally. Okay, it is a real thing. It's not a conspiracy theory. Okay, it's a real thing. And that's okay. You know, every day, like I'll lose 10 subscribers, I'll gain 10 subscribers, lose 5, gain 5, whatever. But I'm still alive. I'm still here, and I'm not going anywhere. So if you want to stay updated on the news, you guys subscribe to me. So subscribe to Let's Be Frank. Subscribe to Snafu Snaps, you guys. I do still have some footage still from the Trump rally that I need to put up of me and Snafu in the Viper's Den. Okay, we actually went into the protesting area, into the protesters when it got a little more people arrived. More people arrived at night, and it got crazy. Okay, the cops were. They knew we were in there. They told us it was okay to go in there. They knew we were in there, and they were watching us. So every time we moved, they would move on the other side of the fence along with us, watching us. And there came a point where Mr. Atomic was texting me, and of course I'm not hearing my text messages. My phone's in my pocket. I'm filming, and Snafu was actually doing the questioning because I was in pain. I hurt my back on Monday really bad. And he's like, you need to get out of there. You need to get out of there. Finally, he called, and I heard the ring, and I'm like, hey, what? And he's like, you need to get out of there now. They're going to shut down the sidewalk because it was getting too heated. And, you know, maybe it would have been me with hot coffee thrown on me. I don't know. But with an exception of one group, everybody was pretty cool. Like, I even talked to a veteran who says, if you support Trump, then you don't support veterans. And I was like, what kind of crack are you smoking? But the guy, you know, there was a lot of people that had a lot of good things to say. Yeah, they didn't like Trump. They didn't like what he was about. But they said a lot of good things. And, you know, I could understand what they were saying. You know, I see things from all angles, and I understand things, you know, even if I disagree with them. And so I've got some good footage I haven't put up yet. I need to put it up there. I will. Probably tomorrow night. So keep an eye out for that footage. I know that Snafu is waiting for that. So I really appreciate the fact that he was with us, and he would be my voice when I couldn't, because my back hurt so bad. I literally couldn't inhale deep enough to speak louder over all of the protester noise. Okay. Monday morning, I was washing my hair, getting ready for work. And you know how you get those cramps in your calf in the middle of the night and they are the most horrid pain in the world and your toes go, yeah. Okay. Imagine that, but in the middle of your back. Okay. And of course I didn't know it. I never had that before. So I put my arms down and the muscles pulled and I literally could not move on Monday for hours. And Mr. Atomic had to help me into the jacuzzi like for a couple nights. Okay. And now I'm finally to a point where I can function, but I still wasn't feeling myself and still wasn't feeling well. And I'm so grateful to Snafu. If you see this video later on, thank you for being my voice and interviewing all these people. He got a little hairball sometimes, but that's Snafu. That's him. I'm a little more reserved in my questioning. He's a little more excited. So I was the cameraman and he was the voice interviewing various people in the crowd of protesters at the Trump rally. Some of it was really humorous. There was one girl who thought socialism was a good thing. Okay. And they said, this one guy's like, well, do you appreciate libraries? When was the last time you went to a library? Well, guess what? That's a social program. Do you enjoy this road? Guess what? That's a social program. I'm like, yeah, because I appreciate those things and I'm okay with those social programs because they benefit me. But social programs that don't benefit me, like handing somebody the golden ticket and the freebies, okay, free food, free healthcare, blah, blah. No, that doesn't benefit me. I should have a right to decide whether or not I want to pay for somebody to have access to books and knowledge, or decide whether or not I want to pay for somebody's medical problems or drug abuse that they need to have treated. Okay, I should have that choice, that right. And socialism doesn't allow for that. Plain and simple. So stay tuned for those videos. I'll put those up probably tomorrow night. But until then, you guys, I hope you all have a good night. And until the next live stream, peace out.